guys, today we're checking out a Memphis amplifier. You don't really hear about Memphis that much in certain car audio forums, but they've been around for a while. They're known for making high quality products, so I thought it would be fun to do one of these today since I don't really hear a lot about them. I know they're selling stuff, they're pretty popular, but you know, in our kind of car audio realm, you don't really hear too many people talking about them, so I thought this would be interesting. So this is a 3000 watt monoblock. It's the MJP3000.1, and I'll put the specs up on the screen from the manufacturer, and we'll see what it does on the dyno. Now these are around $700. They do have them with certain outfitters. I'll put a link below if you're interested. So it's a pretty pricey amp, so I'm hoping it does well on the dyno and does pretty close to what it's rated at, which is 3000 watts at 1 ohm. And you do get a bass knob. It's just a plastic bass knob. I think this kind of looks like a SoundStream bass knob with just a power indicator and a plastic knob, but you know, it's alright. I've used these before without issue. Really cool. It's got an orange strip across the front with some silver machining where they cut through the anodizing. Feels pretty heavy duty. You got two inputs: power, protect light, gain, subsonic, bass boost, typical, low pass, filter, phase, and these are strappable, so you have your output master slave input switch. And on this side we have 1-aught power inputs and 4 8-gauge speaker outs, so that's a good sign. So we will get this hooked up and see what it puts out, and then at the end we'll also remove the back and see what's inside. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we got it all hooked up, and let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're ready to go ahead and get this amp dyno underway. As always, I will put the certified and uncertified results on a chart at the end of all the dyno tests. And remember, uncertified is pushing the amp all the way up to clipping, and certified is stopping the amp dyno when it reaches 1% THD. So that's the two numbers. And then you have dynamic, which simulates just short bursts of bass, like if you're listening to rock music or anything with a bass hit where it can hold that power for a second. So those are the differences. Now let's go ahead and get started. On this amplifier at 4 ohms, which is what we're going to start out with, the specs say 1275 watts, which is a lot for 4 ohms, so we'll see what happens here. If this does that much power at 4 ohms, that's pretty good, because it's kind of hard to get power at 4. Oh wow. Alright, so it already went over. That's a good start. 1462 watts uncertified at 4 ohm. Very good. Okay, let's try dynamic burst at 4 ohm. Alright, here we go. 4 ohm dynamic burst. Alright, very good. 1631 watts dynamic burst at 4 ohm. Wow, I wasn't expecting that really. That's pretty good. Did well over rated at 4 ohm, which is difficult. Alright, let's go ahead and get that 2 ohm test ready. Alright, so far so good. That 4 ohm test went very well. So now we're going to do the 2 ohm test, and this amp specs out at 2100 watts times 1 at 2 ohms. So let's see if it can do it. Yes, it already did it. Very good. 2,370 watts at 2 ohms uncertified, and it was rated at 2100. So very cool. I did not know what to expect on this amplifier. I have no previous knowledge of Memphis amps. This is the first Memphis amplifier I've had come through the shop, so I was really curious on this one. Let's go ahead and try dynamic burst at 2 ohm. Alright, here we go, 2 ohm dynamic. Wow. Wow, 2,824 watts dynamic at 2 ohms. Wow, that's a shocker. I did not expect that out of this amplifier, I'm going to be honest. If it's doing that at 2 ohm, what's it going to do at 1? Well, let's find out. Let's go ahead and get that 1 ohm test going. So far, this amp has been pretty awesome. Alright guys, here we go. 1 ohm test. Can it hit 3,000 watts? So far, this amp has done excellent. Oh, nice. Wow. 3,422 watts at 1 ohm uncertified. Pretty epic. Wow, I did not expect that, to be honest, from this amplifier. It is pricey, but it's also made in China, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but that is very good. Also, guys, when you look at the voltage, the current draw, I put it in the chart what's accurate, because on uncertified, it'll just keep drawing current, just pushing and pushing, and sometimes when the wattage stops, the amperage will just keep going, and you don't account for that. You basically go up to when the power stops, because on a dyno, you're putting a crazy load on it. So go by the efficiency and the amp pull that I put on the chart at the end, or you can watch the video in slow motion and see what's happening at the particular wattage. But let's go ahead and do dynamic. I bet this thing hits 4K dynamic. Alright fellas, here we go. 1 ohm dynamic. It did great uncertified. I think this thing will hit 4,000 dynamic, but let's go ahead and see what it puts out. Oh! Wow, almost 4,600 watts dynamic. This thing has a lot of headroom. So the difference between dynamic and certified or uncertified is dynamic, it can do that power, and it's real power, but it's just, it can do it for short bursts. Whereas on the certified and uncertified, that's an extended constant draw from a constant sine wave. So dynamic is real power. It's just, if you listen to bass songs with an extended bass note more than a second, then you kind of go by certified or uncertified, because that's the power that it can put out for a longer period of time. If you listen to rock or country where you just have normal bass hits, then that's what you're going to be basically getting, because it's short enough bursts where it allows the capacitors inside to store up enough energy to provide that for a short burst. So that's what the difference is. But great. The results on this were shocking to me, I'm going to be quite honest. But I'm glad that it did well, because it is an expensive amp at $700. So let's go ahead and get the back off this thing and see what's inside. Alright, and here are all the results and the efficiencies. This thing did great, and as you can see, the efficiency is very good too for a half bridge amplifier, so not bad. Alright, let's go ahead and move on and get the back off this thing. Alright, let's see what kind of mystic wonders are inside this thing. Now, this is made in China. I was almost a little surprised for the price that it was not Korean, but I also like all that venting on that back plate. Nice. So here are the insides, and this does look very good quality, I will have to say. I just pulled this off. I did not look at this yet, so I'm seeing it the same time you guys are. Very nice looking. What kind of caps are over here on this side? always like to see the brand, because some amps use cheaper brands and some use, oh, are those Yuscons? Yicon, Y-I-H-C-O-N. I haven't seen those before. So these are all Yicon. And what are these over here? I can't see a name on those, but very nice looking amp. Nothing hokey in here, so this looks like a decent quality amp. So if you like Memphis and you're a Memphis fan, I mean, this is a great 3K. As you guys saw, it's more like a 3500 that'll do almost 5K dynamic. So very cool. Alright guys, well that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys think. You know, is it worth 700 bucks? Quality looks great. Power was actually very good. Shocking, to be honest. So maybe there's something about Memphis. Maybe I'll have to check in some more amplifiers from them. So it did very well, but let me know what you guys think. And thank you so much for watching. If you guys could hit that subscribe and like button, it would mean a lot to me. It really helps out. And thanks again, guys. Until next time. Please be advised, no amplifiers were harmed during the making of this